Soldiers of Ice is a 1993 novel by David Cook, and it is the seventh book in the Harpers in the Forgotten Realms campaign setting for Dungeons and Dragons. But all that being said, it is a standalone novel. You could easily make this your first Dungeons and Dragons novel or your first Forgotten Realms novel specifically. It's only book 7 in the Harpers because it is vaguely connected to the Harpers, the organization, right? But this one doesn't have a prequel, it doesn't have a sequel. There might be a short story connected to it, but I don't think there is actually in this case. So we have Wolfhera is leading some young hunters through icy climbs. Wolfhera and his charges are all gnolls of the Burnt Fir people. This is in the mountainous region between Damara and the Great Glacier. Martine is a young harper in Shadowdale, though she's from Sembia. She's restless. She wants to go back in the wilderness, even though she hardly spends any time in civilization. When she hears about the opening of a rift to the para-elemental plane of ice, Senior Harper Jazrak has her quickly off on her next assignment. She meets Vil, a homesteader, only having interactions with the local Vani gnome population. The year is 1366 DR. These gnomes have some cool things. In fact, the spiky dude you see on the cover is a gnome. This is definitely some good handling of alignment as well, though. Not everyone is as you would expect. There are faithful hiding behind doubt, kind of gets into paladins. There's cowards hiding behind position and rank, right, which also relates to this paladin thing, but we have a variety of characters here. And there's goodness, and those almost always at least seen as evil, and that particularly where I'd put the gnolls as handled very interestingly. I was reading another Forgotten Realms novel at the same time, which the review should be coming out after this. But that's gnolls are just fodder for the evil people and the good people to kill, right? So I really like Croat Wordmaker in this book. He's a very interesting character. I wish we got some of his story in Mulemaster that is implied to be related in the timeline of this story, but it doesn't exist anywhere. So we also have Juka as a gnome character, again with the pokey armor. It seems similar to Gutbuster armor, actually, the dwarf stuff from Salvatore's writing. Overall, it's a very interesting book. It's set in a place that you don't normally get a lot of stuff from. It felt very appropriate to read during the winter. And I was surprised with how David Cook handles everything. I mean, it's a pretty typical adventure in a lot of ways. Martine is not a terribly interesting character. She's not a lot setting her apart from, who knows, right? A Mary Sue, I guess. But she doesn't succeed in a lot of ways. In fact, largely the story is based off of a failure. So definitely not in that sense, but it just doesn't stand out in a lot of sense for her, but the story itself does stand out a bit more, and I would say it is a bit more memorable than maybe some other Forgotten Realms novels for sure. So anyways, Leaving Looms Lyceum, I'll catch you next time.